Chapter 1, Spreading Beans and Forming an Army. I had a long, long dream. I can't remember when it started. In the dream, I have a name, Li Guanqi, blood type O, Gemini. I have never had a girlfriend. I have parents, and I can still study. I remember when I was a child, my father bought a computer for my family. Every time I was about to be caught playing with it, I would unplug it and run away. I remember every year during the 12th lunar month, my mother would take me shopping for new clothes, and she would always buy one size larger. I can also remember that when I was in high school at experimental middle school, it was very cold in the morning, and my father gave me a bicycle. But I always feel that my parents don't give me enough and are too harsh on me. We often have conflicts. I will never quarrel with my parents in the future. I woke up and lost it, returned, left. There is a round stone table under the shade of the trees in the southwest corner of the yard. Li Guanqi was sitting on the stone table, talking to the scattered soybeans in front of him. If I hadn't had it, maybe I wouldn't be sad. This extreme gap makes me... He stopped abruptly, because the dead leaves falling from the trees covered him, interrupting his thoughts. As a soybean, Li Guanqi clearly knew that the colorful world called the Earth was just a dream. He has read many novels about time travel, rebirth, and even about waking up into a rabbit or a cicadere. But the only one that didn't turn into soybeans. Well, that's not important. The most important thing is that Li Guanqi thought about his life and found that he could not find the starting point of his memory, and there was no end point. This feeling is hard to describe. In the dream, he clearly knew that he was a human being, but when he woke up, he also clearly knew that he was not a human being. There is a girl named Chun in this courtyard who breathes under the tree every day. Over time, a soybean developed spiritual intelligence. He had no parents, no name, and no way to express himself. He spent the whole day in ignorance, watching the girl practice, watching her study every day, and watching her perform tricks again and fail again and again. Li Guanqi sorted out his brief memories as Huangdo for the 26th time, and everything was so clear. So, this is the real world. He analyzed carefully, thought carefully, and came to a conclusion. As Huangdo, I don't have parents, but the girl who practices martial arts does, so I imagine my own parents. As Huangdo, I can't study, so the world in my dream is full of schools. I tend to avoid the fact of being a soybean, so I pay attention to science in my dreams. Oh, now that I think about it, the word science is just my own imagination. As his thoughts were flying, footsteps were getting closer and closer, and the dead leaves on Li Guanqi's head were lifted. His whole world suddenly became much brighter, and the girl in plain white robe came. With a hurried expression, she picked up the sword beside the stone table, picked up the soybeans on the table, and left. Li Guanqi was in the palm of her hand. The girl left the yard, her footsteps getting faster and faster, as if she was chasing someone. I just heard her yell, "Sir, wait for me." Then the horses neighed. Li Guanqi's vision was dark, and he could only guess based on the voice that the girl should be getting on the carriage now. They started talking. Li Guanqi was in the palm of her hand. Listening to their conversation gave her a different kind of excitement. Come to think of it, Sun Wukong is nothing more than this. It's so dangerous to go to Zhongdu, so why do you bother to follow me? She spoke in the voice of a royal sister. Li Guanqi also had the impression that this person was the chief master of the girl surnamed Chen. The girl replied, "I'm afraid." "Xinyue, things are going to change today. You have no means to protect yourself at all. Being with me will only make you more dangerous." There is a saying that has been circulating in Qin Tianjian from the previous dynasty to the present. Stars enter Yinghua, chaos arises, disasters fall, yin and yang reverse, and the galaxy rolls back. Now, the celestial phenomenon has appeared, and it's time for me to go back. Zhongdu is a place of right and wrong, and you can't go there yet. If one day you learn magic, You can come to Qintian prison to look for me. I will ask the teacher to open the door to heaven for you." Chen Xinyue was driven off the carriage. Remember, all kinds of magic techniques, whether they are about commanding the gods to send generals, walking on the water to control the wind, or praying for sunshine and rain, or solving misfortune and marriage dreams, are all used to control people. Probably because all things are born with spirits, humans, ghosts, immortals, gods, plants, trees, insects, and fish. This theory is a comparison of calamities. The powerful horses neighed, the wheels clattered, and then there was another sound of footsteps. When Li Guanqi's world shone again, he had returned to the stone table under the shade of the tree. The girl was sitting on the stone pier next to her reading. Her eyebrows were lowered, and her face was full of disappointment. Her red lips were slightly parted, muttering something from time to time. And Li Guanqi was still thinking about the girl master's messy words, which were about stars and ghosts, until Chen Xinyue took a deep breath and grabbed the handful of soybeans again. The Tao is constant. Desires are exhausted. The spirit breath plays your life, chops grass into horses, scatters beans into soldiers, carries my 3,000 dreams. Suddenly, a handful of soybeans fell to the ground. Li Guanqi's world suddenly brightened up, and then he was thrown out. Just when he was about to hit the ground, he felt his head blur, and everything in front of him changed. The field of vision was different, as if I was back in a dream again, except that the sunlight from high in the sky was particularly dazzling. He wore armor and held a spear in his hand. There were several sergeants around him who were dressed in military uniforms like him, just like wooden men. Sow the beans and make an army. Damn it! Sure enough, science and everything else are all made up by my imagination. Li Guanqi was shocked. Is this reasonable? His first reaction was to pretend he was unconscious without blinking or looking around. Just stand in the military posture, and that's it. Brothers and sisters didn't move. I didn't know what would happen if I was discovered. I'd better observe the situation first. Fortunately, this thing has a helmet. To control things with the same heart as to control people, it turns out that the economics in the hearts are different. The girl in plain robes murmured to herself. Clang! The sound of clinking pots and bowls came from the kitchen in the east courtyard. The kitchen is in the southwest corner of the east courtyard, and any movement in the west courtyard can be heard clearly, since there is only one window between them. Thief! Chen Xinyue held the hilt of the sword and walked slowly outside the courtyard. The wooden sergeant behind him also followed slowly, and Li Guanqi was not sure how she commanded. Also try to synchronize your movements, so as not to miss any clues. As the sun set, the girl tiptoed around her home, followed by a bunch of soldiers. Chen Xinyue's palms holding the sword were sweating. Just after her husband left, a robber entered the house. When she reached the door of the west courtyard, her mind suddenly moved, and the two sergeants behind her rushed into the kitchen. She herself followed closely with her sword in hand, and the remaining sergeants guarded the door. After all, the kitchen was not big, and it was easy to be unable to use it. There was only a crashing sound. The door panel tilted, and a man ran out from inside, staggering and sitting on the steps. A middle-aged bald man dressed as a farmer. The girl unsheathed her sword and pointed it directly at his neck. Li Guanqi's heart sank, and he thought it was a good thing that he didn't jump, otherwise his fate might not be much better, or he would have to be sliced into pieces. "Who are you?" the girl asked in an unusually cold voice. When Zhang Quan saw the sergeants around him, his calves were trembling, and he felt a little angry in his heart. He was a perfect victim. Zhang. Zhang-san, don't be impulsive, don't be impulsive. I just want to find something to eat. I can pay, but I lost my phone. Where is your director? Click, click, click quickly. When Li Guanqi heard the words on the phone, his heart skipped a beat, and he stood there blankly. Li Guanqi, Li Guanqi. Vaguely, Li Guanqi heard someone calling his name, and someone behind him seemed to be pushing him, trying to push him into the abyss. Chapter 2 Twins on the Other Side. He felt that his consciousness was being sucked into a fog, and there was a magical force driving him behind him. The teacher is calling you. There were words in my ears. The sound was like a mosquito, like gibbering. Li Guanqi tried his best and turned back sharply. I saw the classmate at the back table stabbing himself with a carbon pen. Li Guanqi, school isn't out yet. What's wrong? Your mind has already gone out the window. The physics teacher's eyes were fierce, but his words were not harsh. Tell me, for the 8th multiple choice question, which one should I choose? The seats in the classroom are arranged in rows, with aisles on both sides of each row, and there are no desk mates at all. Besides, Li Guanqi had no intention of answering the question, mainly because he didn't even know which paper he was talking about. The young man slowly stood up from his seat and looked down at the paper on his desk. For the 8th question, choose C. The teacher on the podium was a little surprised. He pushed up his glasses and asked, "Why did you choose C? Let me tell you." The young man thought for a moment and then spoke seriously. Because the 3 options of ABD are obviously wrong. The teacher has taught this kind of question several times. The physics teacher had no choice but to ask Li Guanqi to sit down. He felt that he should teach the children an ideological lesson. I know that physics class is a bit boring compared to other subjects, but think about it. When you were choosing subjects, wasn't it just because you were interested in it that you chose physics? As the saying goes, if you learn mathematics, physics, and chemistry, you will not be afraid of traveling all over the world. Just like the Kepler's law we are learning today, this is a key point and a difficulty in high school physics. The comet that has been making a lot of noise on the internet recently, C/2022R1, is said to come from the Oort cloud and has an orbital period of more than 50 million years. Don't look at what is said on the internet about the many bulls and cows. It also obeys the promotion and application of Kepler's law. After all, it is a periodic comet. Although the period is very long, if the influence of mass loss and the gravity of massive stars is not considered, the law of conservation of energy, conservation of angular momentum, etc. will also obey the generalization of Kepler's law. Seeing Li Guanqi suddenly raised his head and his shocked facial expression, the physics teacher smiled happily. Li Guanqi took a pen and scribbled unconsciously on the book, trying to clear his thoughts. Is this time travel? I seem to be stuck in a bug. My consciousness repeatedly jumps between 2 worlds. There were no signs before the time travel. No. Chen Xinyue's master said that when stars enter Inghua, chaos will arise, disasters will fall, yin and yang will reverse, and the galaxy will roll back. Comets have also appeared on the Earth now. This is definitely not a coincidence. The farmer named Zhang, Sam, must also have traveled through time. I don't know if he has come back. After thinking about it, he picked up a carbon pen and drew a 5-pointed star on his wrist as a mark. When he traveled through time, he would see whether his soul had traveled through time or whether his entire body had passed through. But that wasn't right either. If my body traveled through time, wouldn't the classmates in the classroom notice that someone is missing? After school, Li Guanqi rushed home alone without waiting for his best friend. Mom was already preparing dinner for the evening, but Dad hadn't come back yet. He thought about it and decided not to tell his parents yet. After all, they can't do much to help. They will only make the whole family worry about it. Sit at the computer, open the search engine, and type the word comet in the text box. He paused, then stood up to get a glass of cold water, sat back in front of the computer with a cup in hand, and pressed the search button. The first entry that comes into view is shock. 50 million years of redemption, signals from alien civilizations, the hidden secrets of us, and the Oort Nebula. Li Guanqi automatically ignored the entry in the Department of Shock and chose an academic report on C/2022R1, dated September 9th, which was posted today. When I opened it, I saw that it was in English, but it didn't matter. The browser has its own translation function. It introduced in detail the telescope that discovered the comet, the specific time, as well as a series of data that I couldn't understand, such as the nova's apparent magnitude, albedo, orbital semi-major axis, and eccentricity. Li Guanxi was speechless. He flipped through the webpage to the end and found nothing he could understand. However, among the similar documents at the bottom of the webpage, there was a report titled Controversy between C/2022-R1 and 1C/2022-R1. After reading, Li Guanxi's worldview was completely shattered, and he felt that science might not be able to save him. C is a long-period comet. Adding 1 in front means that it is confirmed to have returned once. But how can a comet with a period of 51 million years be sure to return? It is obvious that this kind of thing can only be seen once in a lifetime. This report mentioned an astronomer surnamed Sunday. He believed that the orbits of the new comet discovered in the first half of September and the one discovered in 2013 are not exactly the same. However, after taking into account the errors and fuzzy calculations, the two comets can be considered to have coincident orbits. Although Li Guanxi didn't quite understand, his intuition told him that this report must have something to do with his time travel. He went to the search engine to search for astronomer's surname Sun. It didn't matter if he didn't check it. The black and white pictures made his heart completely cold. Sun Chingon was found dead at home at 1500 hours on September 9th, 2022. He was suspected of committing suicide. The specific cause is unknown. That was 2 or 3 hours ago. It's very strange, but also reasonable. This person must have discovered something. Was he really committing suicide? There was no other way. Comet's clues were broken. So he had to open the hot search and search for a series of keywords such as time travel, rebirth, and dreaming. There must be others who had the same experience as him. For example, Zhang San stole food in the kitchen, but Li Guanxi would definitely not be stupid enough to search for Zhang San in the hot search. Unfortunately, the amount of information obtained is not large. There is a lot of relevant information recently, or in other words, there are topics related to time travel every moment. But there is no post with a lot of comments. At this time, it is very important to post a post with a lot of comments, or an official post, so that people who are in the same situation as you can comment and communicate. Watch chess. Come for dinner. Your father's workplace has an emergency meeting, and he is to work overtime tonight. It's just the two of us. Mother's voice came from the living room. Oh, here we come. Before leaving his seat, he accidentally searched for academician Sun's name in the hot search. The popularity was not very high, and the general public still preferred some entertainment topics. Opening Sun Chingon's personal homepage, he saw the only post, which only had 4 words. Twins on the other side. September 9th, 2022. There are 0 comments. Chapter 3 Director of Political and Educational Affairs. For dinner, we had shrimp, fried wheat, flour rolls, and millet porridge. To be precise, it is porridge cooked with millet, mung beans, and peanuts. Li Guanxi likes to drink soup and eat peanuts. By the way, bring your ID card when you go to school tomorrow. Mother Li handed her cell phone to him. The announcement just made in the parent group said that there will be a physical examination tomorrow. Li Guanxi took a look. There was nothing weird about it. It was just a normal group announcement. But the time for this physical examination, the response was so fast. It's very possible that they are screening for time travelers, but they don't know how to detect them. Li Guanxi always felt that something was wrong. The change had just happened, from the top to the bottom. Was it executed so quickly? It's not that he doesn't believe in organizational execution. It's mainly that it will take some time for physical examination equipment to be installed everywhere. At this time, Li's mother answered the phone and said, "Your father won't be back tonight. The township is organizing a night flood prevention drill." His father is a grassroots worker, and he has nothing to do on weekdays, except that he has a long commute to get off work every day because the place where he works is in a mountainous town. It's okay if you don't come back at night. It's not safe on the road if it's too late. Because he was worried, Li Guanxi finished his meal, packed up the dishes, and sent them to the kitchen, then returned to his room. Although he is usually like this and basically doesn't chat with his parents. Comet returns, twins on the other side, group time travel? Qin Tianjian. It should be from the Ming and Qing dynasties, but Tianendi has magic. Then if I learn magic, won't I be able to do whatever I want on Earth? It's a pity that I'm not the only one who traveled through time. That's not bad. At least I can eavesdrop. Since there is a magic method, it shouldn't be a big problem to transform from a soybean to a human in the future. Chen Xinyue talks about it every day. It would be great if she could find a way to learn both skills. Set a small goal first and learn secretly until you can become a human yourself. Well, on the premise of not being discovered. It should not be discovered. The world is so big. Who would pay attention to a soybean? Li Guanxi suffered from insomnia. He was a very alert person, and his thinking was very divergent. But when he encountered this kind of thing again, he was a little scared, excited, and couldn't sleep. Around 12 o'clock, someone knocked on the door. He didn't leave the bedroom, but he could also hear the conversation between his mother and the visitor, which probably meant that there would be a physical examination organized in the community tomorrow or something. Not sure if it was an illusion, but Li Guanxi felt that his hearing was much better than before, maybe because he had been eavesdropping recently. What's wrong with this? What's with that? Ehe ti niandeo. As soon as the alarm rang, a hand stretched out from under the covers and pressed the phone. Li Guanxi got out of bed with 2 dark circles under his eyes. He basically didn't sleep much last night. I got up and tidied up briefly, then went out without breakfast. He decided to take his mobile phone to school today. Special times require special treatment. As soon as he arrived at school, his best friend Lu Su found him excitedly. Have you looked at the internet? It's all blown up. Many foreigners are posting on Twitter claiming that they have seen magic, both from the Lord and from God. There are also news reports. What Li Guanxi said to his best friend was not surprising. Are you sure you went to tweet to watch the news? Climbing the wall is against the rules. Be careful that the police find you. Lu Su ignored his nonsense and said to himself, then why is there such calm in the country? Could it be that the gods are forbidden to travel in the great summer ahead? Calm? Bah. But he didn't say anything after all. He hadn't figured out what was going on yet. At this time, several police cars and ambulances drove into the campus. The classmates all stopped and watched. Li Guanxi was not surprised at all. He was already numb. Even if someone teleports in front of him at this time, he will not be surprised and will even rush up to hug his thigh. Look, the police are here to arrest you. Lu Su was dumbfounded and said that it would not be a problem and returned to his class honestly. Classes were still going on as usual in the school, and Li Guanxi waited silently. He was more curious about how the organization determined whether a person was a time traveler. It was almost noon, and all the second graders went downstairs to line up for a blood test. It's just a normal physical examination process, nothing abnormal. While pressing his arm with a cotton swab, he lowered his head and walked into the classroom, maybe collecting blood samples to complete the DNA library. Apart from this, Li Guanxi could not think of any other possibility. As he was walking, he suddenly stopped. Who did he seem to have just seen? Turning around and going back, people were coming and going on campus, and teachers from every grade organized queues. When he reached the first grade of high school, he suddenly lowered his head, turned around, and left. Zhong San. He saw Zhong San. It turned out to be a teacher in the school. Damn it! Why haven't I seen him before? He was wearing a helmet yesterday, so he probably wouldn't recognize him. Lu Su, come out first. Li Guanxi found his best friend, pointed at the first-year high school team and asked, "That teacher, the one with no hair on his head, do you know him?" "Well, isn't that the director of political education? He often speaks during meetings. I even gave him something when I stopped class last time. His name seems to be Zhang Quan." He is Zhang Quan. Li Guanqi remembered that when he was a freshman in high school, he skipped class and went out to surf the internet. He was asked to suspend classes and go home, and his head teacher refused to let him return to school.